What's the deal, YouTube? LTH coming at you with a video. 7:13 the Bio City. We up in here on a wonderful Saturday morning. So, a pair of 2-0 teams going at it, which consists of the Texans and the Vikings. And yes, the Texans sit at 0-5 versus the Minnesota Vikings, meaning that they have never beaten this team before, which they look to do so tomorrow when they go to US Bank Stadium to take on the Minnesota Vikings. And I have to say, I said this last week and I'll say it this week. The Minnesota Vikings will not be a cakewalk at all. Perfect example. Defense getting on the Brock Purdy. How they were able to make Brock Purdy uncomfortable. Imagine how the Vikings defense called by Brian Flores could potentially make Stroud look, if all goes to plan for the Vikings. But not to mention, I'm talking about the Texans though, on how they can possibly move to 3-0 if all goes right. I mean, like I say, it's not gonna be a cakewalk. It's gonna be a dogfight, I can see. And I understand the offense has got to be better because of that. Scoring one touchdown, that long touchdown in the first half. The rest of them were just field goals in defense, which held it down. Forced 2 turnovers. Should have been 3 though, if not for the defensive hold on Henry To'o, meaning Kamari Lassiter would have had himself 2 picks. But boneheaded mistakes is what can come back to haunt a team on both sides of the ball. Hold on real quick. Hold on. Shit. Sorry about that. But like I was saying, boneheaded mistakes can really come back to haunt a team on both offense and defensive side of the ball. So definitely got to clean up those penalties, especially on the offensive line. And of course, Lammy Tunsil, who has 45 false start penalties since 2016, in which I mentioned that on Twitter last week on that Sunday night matchup versus the Bears. Definitely got to clean up those penalties, man, and on the defense, penalties it was penalties everywhere. And I got to say, the penalties is what kept the Bears in the game, knowing it should have been out of reach, Tank Dell dropping a pass that should have resulted in a touchdown, in which he has to have a big game, by the way. And of course, Cam Akers fumbling that football in the goal line, which was a pain in the butt. But even with that Cam Akers, pain in the butt fumble, I gotta say, man, because I noticed that they showed a blatant face mask call, which was missed by the officials, which would have given us an automatic first down had the referees not missed that face mask call. I don't want to bring the refs in too much, but that's just what I saw. But Cam Akers got to hold on to the rock though, man, because fumbling the football, giving it away, inexcusable late in the game. Hell. Which is why I go on to say that mistake-free football is going to be key for this Texans team if they hope to walk out of Minnesota with a victory. So, how can the Texans move to 3-0? And before I say, both teams are 2-0 for the first time since 2016. And of course, last time the Texans were 2-16, they got beat down by Jacoby Brissett and the Patriots without Tom Brady at that time. So, how can the Texans move to 3-0? Simple. Gotta play mistake-free football. And of course, Justin Jefferson, that's my big concern going into that game. But Secondary got to play smart. They got to play real smart too. Like, since I could see Derek Stingley guarding Justin Jefferson. I mean, all I ask for is to play smart and don't play so far off the ball that much, because all that's doing is leaving room for the receiver to catch it and, secure first downs of 20 plus yards. So, gotta maintain Justin Jefferson for sure. Rattle him up a little bit. I mean, yeah, he's badass and all, and yeah, he's capable of big plays, if you leave him room. I mean, look what happened with that against the 49ers last week when he had that 97-yard TD reception. But secondary just got to play smart. And the whole defense got to be smart. Don't be on the field. Don't be on the field for too long, relying on the bend don't break defense, cause that's what's gonna mess up the Texans. But and of course create pressures and turnovers and make Sam Darnold uncomfortable in that pocket. Cause give him time to throw, he won't hesitate to find an open man. Especially Justin Jefferson or TJ Hawkinson, which I can see the Vikings being their top two targets since Jordan Addison won't be playing in that game. And of course, stop the run. Don't let Aaron Jones have a field day. And you can stop the run and apply pressure on Sam Darnold, make him uncomfortable. Hey, got a feeling that good things are gonna happen. It's gonna be some hiccups, but just force 3 and outs. Don't let the Vikings offense find any type of rhythm. Now for the offense, and yeah, it's unfortunate that Damian Pierce and Joe Mixon won't be playing, meaning Cam Akers going to take over as running back 1. And before I talk about what the offense got to do, I got to say, man, Cam Akers, Danielle Hunter, and Stephon Diggs are returning to Minnesota, while the Texans are going to be facing against 2 former Texans on their team, which is who they lost in free agency, which is Brian Cashman and Jonathan Grenard, and who I wanted back in free agency, but which wasn't the case. So, like I say, it's going to be a pretty fun matchup. So, let's talk about what the offense needs to do. Of course, CJ Stroud, he could, he almost came close to throwing a pick last week, just like he came close to throwing about 3 picks versus the Colts. So, let Stroud be Stroud, but still, he's a smart quarterback, but hey, this guy gotta be willing to read the blitzes, read the pass rush that Brian Flores is gonna try and throw. And of course, patience is key. Gotta be patient. But gotta take chances down the field. Calculated chances at that. But not no boneheaded ones though. Protect the football. Cam Akers, open up running lanes for Cam Akers. I would recommend them running the ball on early downs, or mix it up, to trick the defense into thinking that they're gonna run or pass. But just got to be smart with the football. Like I say, Tank Dell's got to be more involved, and Dalton Schultz. I mean, Nico's badass and all, but can't rely on him every game. Just like can't rely on him on third downs for sure. But as far as third downs go, avoid third and longs, and along with second and longs, and of course, the crowd noise is gonna be into it, so keep that crowd noise as quiet as possible. And hopefully our whole O-line is healthy this game too, since Jared Patterson and Scruggs are questionable, but hopefully they should be good enough to play. Because, like I say, that Vikings defense is going to do whatever they can to make Stroud uncomfortable in that pocket. Meaning making the offense of the Texans one-dimensional. So, can't afford that. So, win the time of possession, and do whatever it takes to make that Vikings defense one-dimensional. It's about the IQ, football IQ. Win the time of possession, avoid pivotal mistakes in games, and of course avoiding pivotal boneheaded penalties, which could turn out drive killing on the offensive side. And Tunsil, man, as good as he is at left tackle, needs to find a way to cut down on those false start penalties. Because, man, it may not seem like a big deal, but it is. Once a drive stalls, and of course, score touchdowns. I mean, Fairbairn's been on point, but field goals aren't going to win you every game. So, gotta score touchdowns early and often. Stroud, gotta have another efficient big game for sure against that feisty Vikings team, who are 2-0, also 2-0, just like Houston. I mean, get Stephon Diggs involved more too, and of course, Cade Stover's going to be seeing more playing time now that Brevin Jordan suffered a torn ACL week 2, which is unfortunate. But wish him a speedy recovery. And also, Texans managed to sign a tight end in Irv Smith, if I'm not mistaken. Hopefully we can see some action from him tomorrow for sure. So, neutralize that Vikings pass rush. Keep them on their heels as long as possible. And keep Justin Jefferson off the field as well as long as possible, because winning time of possession is what could really help this team, along with playing mistake-free football and winning the turnover battle. Don't give up big plays through the ground and air, and this team will be all right. And like I say, it's going to be some bumps and bruises, but as long as they do what they're supposed to do, hey, there's no excuse to why this Texans team, don't handle business tomorrow, this Sunday. So, as far as my prediction goes, let me get the Texans winning by a score of 27-23. And, though, if the Texans were to lose this game, it will be a score of 24-21 Vikings. So, those are my win-loss prediction between the Texans and Vikings. But if the Texans were to win this game, though, it would be about a score of 27-23. The Texans losing, this game will be at a score of 24-21. So there that is. Hopefully I could see the Texans put up at least 30 points for this week, but it's not guaranteed though, since the Texans have yet to put up 30 points so far. But let's see what happens come tomorrow. So there that is. Till my next video, LTH checking on up out of here. Let's handle business in Minnesota. Except Houston till I die. Go Texans. I'm out.